The last section of this class is on listening to music, learning music through listening. And I know that sounds kind of silly because, I mean, how do you do anything with music without listening? So, deaf people do listen to music though, just not the same way we do. But listening in this sense, and we're just kind of taking one specific way of listening to music, but we're talking about more complex analyzation of music, analysis of music. So what I infer when I say learning music through listening or by listening, we're going to involve a little bit of writing here and some more complex analysis. And we'll probably not just do one thing. We're probably going to be thinking about many things all at the same time. So this is kind of the all-encompassing way of analyzing music. And you'll notice as you look through the materials that we have two types of things we use a lot for this area. The first one is called a listening guide. And a listening guide can be a piece of paper that asks you a bunch of questions, or a piece of paper that has different multiple choice things that you can choose between as you hear the music, that kind of walks you through the music in an analytical way. Or maybe it's just a bunch of boxes on a paper with different things that you're supposed to write about. Tell me about the tempo. Tell me about the mood of the music. Tell me what instruments you hear. Those types of things. And it's a little more open-ended sometimes, and sometimes it's very specific. The second thing that we use a lot is called a musical map, and this is intended more for younger students, but sometimes we can get more complex and use it with older grades also. A music map actually walks the students through the music step by step. And those words are kind of interchangeable, listening guide and music map. When you get into college textbooks for music classes, often they'll have a listening guide, which are usually just textual and full of prose and sometimes some musical clips and stuff. But for young students, it's more about pictures. I put an example in Blackboard of the promenade from pictures at an exhibition, and it's a really fun map. You have at the top 4 different colors with different instruments in it, and then there's a little pathway that curves around, and you'll probably see that in there if you look around. But the cool thing about it is each step on the path has a footprint, and that is one beat. So you can actually have your students take their 2 little fingers, or Peter Rabbit, and they can walk along the map with the beats. And you might want to just lightly tap the beat as you play that for them so they can listen to it and know where the beat is in the music. But the music's pretty obvious. So what they're doing is they're saying, okay, the music's starting out with a trumpet. And the trumpet, I believe, is purple. And the trumpet's by itself. And then after a few beats, we have a brass ensemble. And that's a different color. And then we have the solo trumpet again. And then we have the brass ensemble. And as they walk their fingers through that, they can see the changes in timbre and the changes in dynamics that happen with that song. And it gets a little bit more complex as it moves on. But it's fun because they're analyzing the music through pictures. And we don't get to do that a whole lot. We were just doing that with, on the board, doing some stuff on the board, showing you things. But this is even more visual. And there's a lot of resources out there like that we can use. You're going to be given an assignment. I have created, and I actually created this a long time ago for a college assignment when I was your age, but I've created a listening guide for a song. And basically what you do is you just listen and go through and put in your answers. And so it's focused listening, and that's what this is all about. So use this mostly with older grades. Younger students, you want to be more movement oriented, more simple, but as they get more advanced understanding of musical concepts and musical terms, then start shifting to these more complex ideas. And this is where we can really see some more formative type assessment. which we don't get a lot of that in music classes. So this is a good thing to use some formative assessment, and I would highly suggest that you look into using these things. So that assignment, just go ahead and listen to the song and fill in the answers in the appropriate ways and submit that, and look through the other resources there. But I'm not going to talk a lot about this one, just because it's pretty self-explanatory and you kind of have to come up with your own stuff. But it's also nice because it's very open-ended. You can just give a child a sheet of paper and let them write. And here we have some of that cross-curriculum stuff going on where they're actually using English and grammar skills in their music class, and that doesn't happen too often.